Hello students, welcome to Saurabh Sir's classes. Today we are going to solve DSE 2015 question paper, that is entrance examination for MA Economics. So in our last videos we have solved questions up till 11. So now we are going to start with question number 12. So question 12 says in a simple regression model estimated using OLS. Okay, so the covariance between the estimated errors and the regressors is 0 by construction. Okay, so this says that we do not have any residues by our estimated error and the by our estimated error and the regression, so the difference between them is 0. So the statement is okay. So we have four conditions here. True only if the regression model contains an intercept term. Okay, so it will be true, the statements the above question is true if the regression model has an intercept term. The statement is true only if the regression model does not contain an intercept term. The statement given above is true irrespective of whether the regression model contains an intercept term, that is it does not depend on the intercept term. And the fourth statement is basically the question is false. So we need to check which of these options are correct. So we will base on these three first options and check whether the statement can be true out of these three options. So here our options are based on intercept term. So let us assume that there is no intercept term. So no intercept term. So what does this indicate? No intercept term means the mean of the residuals is not 0. This means mean of, that is the average of the residuals, is not 0. Hence, since the residuals are not 0, this means that the covariance need not be 0 anymore. So the covariance need not be 0 anymore. But this condition is violating our question, because here we have been given that the covariance between the estimated error and the regressors is 0. So this condition is violating, hence the no intercept assumption was wrong. So we need a regression model to contain an intercept term so that the covariance is true. So the covariance is 0, hence this says that our option number A is the correct answer to this question. So now let's move on to our next question, that is question number 30. So question 13 says consider the uniform distribution over the interval a comma b. So we have been given a closed interval between a and b. So now we have four conditions. Let's check them. So first says the mean of this distribution depends on the length of the interval but the variance does not. Okay, so this says that the mean of this distribution is dependent on the length of this interval a comma b, but the variance is not dependent on that. Option B is the exactly opposite to option A, that is mean does not depend on the length whereas the variance does. Option C says neither the mean nor the variance depends on the interval, that is length of the interval, but option D is opposite to option C, that is both of them depend on the length of the interval. So first recapitulate the formula for our mean and variance. So mean of a uniform distribution is found by a plus b by 2, whereas formula for our variance will be variance is always equal to b minus a whole square by 12. So these are two basic formula for mean and variance of a uniform distribution as it is given here. As you can see here, a plus b by 2 is simply based on these two terms that are the intervals where that are the terms where the intervals is closed. But as you can see in variance, we have b minus a, and as you know b minus a, that is the last term minus the first term, is gives us the length of the interval. B minus a gives us the length of the interval. So basically variance is equal to length of the interval whole square divided by 2. So you can see here that mean has nothing to do with the length of the interval, whereas variance can only be found by finding the length of the interval. Hence variance is variance is dependent on the length of the interval, whereas mean is not. So let's check the options. In which option we have that mean does not depend. So in option B we have mean does not depend, as well as here only we have the variance does. So here you can see variance does depend, mean does not. So our option number B is the correct answer to this question. So I will like to end this video here. You will find solutions to the further questions in our next videos.